High in COVID-19 cases at 8,700. The Octa Research Group flags the rise in COVID-19 infections in provinces outside the NCR Plus bubble. The government's COVID-19 task force sat with church officials to finally discuss the 10% Holy Week capacity proposal of the Archdiocese of Manila. The Health Department is appealing to non-medical frontliners to wait for their turn in the vaccination line. And in sports, the Olympic torch relay set off from Fukushima in Japan, signaling the start of a 4-month countdown to the Tokyo Olympics. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Riza Diaz. As the Health Department logged another all-time high in COVID-19 cases, the Octa Research Group flags the uptick in infections in areas outside the NCR Plus bubble. Greg Gregorio has the report.
The Health Department once again logged an all-time high COVID-19 cases today. Total infections have now breached the 693,000 mark, with the highest single daily jump of 8,773. Active cases also inched closer to 100,000 at 99,800. The DOH says 56 more COVID-19 patients died overnight, pushing the death toll to 13,095. Recoveries, meanwhile, are now at around 580,000, with 574 new survivors today. Zooming into Metro Manila, the Octa Research Group earlier reported that the reproduction rate of COVID-19 in the region has slightly decreased from 2.07 on March 22 down to 1.91 as of March 24. Octa notes, however, that it is too early to tell if this is now the start of a downward trend. The research group also reports a spike in cases in 2 areas outside the NCR Plus bubble. They are now calling for close monitoring of COVID-19 infections in Pampanga and Batangas. As for the vaccines, of the 4 COVID-19 vaccines with an emergency use authorization in the Philippines, only Pfizer and AstraZeneca currently have data on the efficacy of their shots against COVID-19 variants. The country's vaccine experts panel says the shot developed by Pfizer provides antibodies, although slightly less effective against new variants. It still protects people, while the AstraZeneca jab provides 75 to 84% efficacy against the B117 or UK variant, and only 10% effective against the B1351 or South African variant. Despite the low efficacy rate, Dr. Nina Glorianti of the Vaccine Experts Panel believes that it may still be used in the country.
The study was only conducted on around 2,000 people, and they're actually trying to study more. Even if medyo mababa yung binding, it's still there rather than zero.
Other vaccine makers with initial information on efficacy against variants are Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and Novavax. Gloriani says the figures show how COVID-19 variants affect the efficacy of vaccines. The panel is now asking Bharat Biotech with pending EUA application to provide such data.
That is one of the information that we need, yung kung meron silang ginawa about the studies about the effect of their vaccines on the variants. So hinihingi po namin yun, not that it is required.
As variants continue to spread, Gloriani warns about the need for a third dose. Vaccine expert Dr. Lulu Bravo says the increasing cases must be addressed.
That variants are there, it is inevitable. And it cannot be controlled unless you control the transmission of the disease that you are preventing.
For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
The IATF will consider allowing churches to open at 10% capacity this Holy Week. Justice Secretary Minardo Guevara, a member of the task force, says a meeting between church and government officials is scheduled today. Recall that with the implementation of the stricter GCQ in Metro Manila and other areas, religious gatherings have been prohibited until April 4. Guevara notes that some dioceses themselves have voluntarily decided to close their churches even before the issuance of the resolution. The DOH and a National Task Force Against COVID-19 reiterated their call to strictly follow the vaccine priority list. DOH and NTF explained that all currently available doses should first be given to healthcare workers due to limited vaccine supplies. They also echoed the pronouncement of President Duterte saying persons verified to have jumped the line may face illegal actions or legal actions. In a speech Wednesday night, the president scolded local chief executives who skipped the vaccination line. More stories after the short break. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Passengers bound for their provinces were stranded at the North Port Terminal in Manila due to stricter travel restrictions. Gerald de la Peña is joining us live from Manila for details. Gerald?
Riza, some 100 passengers were stranded here at the Manila North Port Passenger Terminal because of stricter travel restrictions set by various provinces. We've actually met one of the passengers here who was supposed to travel to Bacolod, but as soon as they arrived at the port early in the morning, they were told that their destination declared a lockdown. Another passenger was informed last minute that he and his family's trip to Cagayan de Oro had been cancelled. The Philippine Ports Authority explained that several local governments have imposed stricter requirements, such as Palawan, which only allows entry for authorized persons outside the residence or airport. As of Wednesday night, Region 6 has imposed a moratorium where provinces such as Aklan, Antique, Capiz, Guimaras, Iloilo, and Negros Occidental will not accept inbound passengers regardless of classification. Some passengers going to Zamboanga, meanwhile, were stranded because of the RT-PCR result requirement. Shipping company To Go said most of their trips are pushing through but only to deliver cargo. Due to restrictions, they cannot transport passengers from Manila going to provinces. The PPA said they will not allow the stranded passengers to take shelter at its premises as the facilities are not designed to function like a quarantine facility where people are assured that the virus will not spread. Riza, right now there are still about 50 to 100 passengers here who are trying their luck if they can board the ships by tonight. The PPA advises those who are intending to go home to the provinces to coordinate first with the LG of their destinations prior to boarding so that they would know if there are any additional requirements or if there are additional travel restrictions. Riza.
Thank you for that report. That was Gerard de la Peña reporting from Manila. Now, the Bureau of Corrections insists the controversial wall built along the access road in Muntinlupa is for good cause. Gary De Leon has the story.
Bucor renovated the infamous solid wall they built last week on Insular Prison Road, NBP Reservation, Muntinlupa. The Bureau removed half of the brick wall and installed a gate where its employees and emergency vehicle may pass through. But the agency insists the permanent closure of the access road will push through. That despite issues raised by Southville 3 residents, Muntinlupa Representative Rufy Villason and the city government.
Hindi daanan ang bilibid prisons. Only in the Philippines, pinagtatawanan tayo. O, ipagpapatuloy pa natin yun? O gusto nyo, tatahimik lang kami, pakuya-kuya-kuy kami until the last day of our appointment in Bucor.
For their part, Muntinlupa LGU has already raised this issue to Congress and the Justice Department for investigation.
Ang resolution ay hinihiling natin sa Department of Justice through Secretary Guevara na utusan ang Bucor na tanggalin yung road closure kasi ito ay illegal. Pangalawang resolution ay hinihiling namin sa Kongreso na magsagawa ng inquiry in aid of legislation para malaman natin kung bakit bigla-bigla na nagpasara ng kalsadang yan.
The city government is also urging the national government to relocate the National Bilibid Prison to other areas.
Dahil yung pong Bilibid ay hindi na po conducive para sa isang national prisons. Ang dami na pong tao sa paligid. Ang dami na pong mga institusyon sa paligid.
But for the Bucor, this move is long overdue since it has been alleged time and time again that some Southville residents smuggled contrabands inside the prison, such as drugs and cell phones.
2 weeks ago, may inabol nga kami doon sa NS3 din. Nakamotorsiklo sila. Yung dalawang sakay, kumaripas ng kapo. Yung isa, nagamit niya yung motor niya, lumabas. Ano ang tinapon nila? Shabu, dalawang cellphone, tabako, at iba pang contrabands.
And Bucor claims that ever since the wall was constructed, the prison became relatively quiet, and the Bureau is more assured that there will be less prevalence of contrabands inside. They add that the Muntinlupa LGU cannot thwart the Bureau's planned change inside the prison, and that this is their way to protect people from inmates who imperil those living directly outside the prison.
Hindi kami natatakot na gawin ang trabaho. Kahit na unpopular, ngayon lang yan.
But the city government of Muntinlupa also appeals to Bucor to respect their jurisdiction and let them know about the projects that may potentially have a big impact in their city. Reporting for News 5, I'm Gary De Leon. We are One News.
The Olympic torch relay set off from Fukushima in Japan, signaling the start of a 4-month countdown to the Tokyo Olympics. About 10,000 runners will carry the torch across Japan's 47 prefectures and far-flung islands. It began where a 2011 earthquake and tsunami killed about 20,000 people and affected thousands of others. The relay had no spectators, and roadside onlookers must wear masks and socially distance. Now, for more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.